Students, do you have issues paying attention in class? Are Facebook, texting your iPod, and whispering classmates distracting you? And teachers, do you find yourself staring at your students wondering if they're paying attention? Do you find them slouching, not making eye contact, and playing on their cell phones instead of listening to you? If so, then we've got the solution for you! Our new and improved hearing aid, Retraction, is meant to solve all of your listening problems. This small Bluetooth-like piece fits snugly in anyone's ear. The microchip inside is designed to wirelessly connect with another Retraction to block out all other sound except for the hearing aid it is synced with. Here's how it works. Students, at the start of class, situate your Retraction comfortably onto one ear, and then using the small remote, type in your professor's Retraction code. In 10 seconds or less, your earpiece will sync up with your professor's, blocking out all other sound except for his or her voice. From now on, you won't be distracted by your whispering peers, students walking in late, or a buzzing cell phone. Retraction blocks out all other sounds, so you'll be ready to be focused and attentive in class. Teachers, at the start of class, attach your Retraction earpiece. Turn on your remote and hit the sync button, which allows all the students in your classroom to sync up with your Retraction. Through the small microphone located on the tip of the earpiece, your students will only hear the sound of your voice coming through their Retraction, making them focused and alert, and you'll be able to teach your class distraction-free. How does this work, you ask? We interviewed 3 professionals in the field, and they gave us their opinion on the Retraction.
With the prevalent use of iPods and other headphone-required activities, it's no wonder students are having trouble both listening and hearing. According to Michael Pickard and John S. Bradley, noise levels are usually far in excess of any reasonable recommendation for optimal conditions for understanding in classrooms. Excessive noise in the classroom is a serious obstacle to learning and to academic achievement for our students. The authors even cited a survey that looked at the physical conditions of school facilities in the United States, and it was declared that 28% of all schools to be unsatisfactorily noisy. This noise has heavy consequences, including vocal fatigue, leading to vocal disorders among teachers and educators, extra strain in students, and perhaps most importantly, it poses an impediment to verbal learning. There are a few other barriers to listening according to Professor Nan in her Factors lecture. Some of these barriers include information overload, criticizing the speaker, and being self-absorbed. That's why the Retraction is such a crucial device to implement in the classrooms. It blocks out all the noise so that students don't have to struggle to listen and comprehend the material, and teachers don't have to strain their voices trying to talk over all the noise in the classroom. I'd personally recommend all campuses and universities invest in Retractions.
According to the article Listening, our most used communication skill, which can be found in the Module 1 on D2L, we spend about 70 to 80% of our waking hours communicating, and at that time we spend 45% of it listening. That's almost half of our day. What's so unfortunate is that students have shown the majority of us are poor and inefficient listeners. This is a significant lack of training in the field of listening. I mean, think about it. We are formally trained to read, write, and speak. Why haven't we been shown a proper and effective way to listen? As we get older, our listening skills start to suffer. By the time students go to college, they have absolutely no idea how to listen in the classroom. Sure, they can hear all right, but students don't necessarily comprehend what they hear. Listening is hard work. That's why the Retraction is such an amazing device. It gives students the help they need to block out the distractions in their life for a whole class period and focus only on the teacher. Lauren O'Haron and William A. Arnold state in their article, an attentive listener shows he or she is listening by the following: eye contact, formal trunk lean, physical proximity, verbal following, listener silence, gestures. As we know that these listener attentive behaviors benefit both the listener and the speaker as well, because they enhance effective listening in terms of comprehension. As a doctor and expert in listening, I recommend every student should invest in the Retraction.
In order to effectively listen, a number of nonverbal communication aspects must be addressed. According to Junie Brownell in her textbook, Listening, Attitudes, Principles, and Skills, there are nonverbal cues to interpret the message someone is sending you. Through our use of nonverbals, or space, facial expressions, eye behavior, body language, and touch, we can decipher whether someone does or does not, is or is not listening. For instance, we use eye contact to regulate and monitor communication. Facial expressions often indicate mood and feelings about the subject of conversation. Body movements, posture, and gesture can also be analyzed to determine if someone is truly listening or if he or she is off in his or her own world. Judy Brownell lists behaviors that say, "I'll listen," in Chapter 6 of her book, and some of these include direct eye contact, touching, smiling, nods, a forward lean, and positive facial expressions. These can be used to determine if someone is actively listening to what you have to say. It's important for both students and teachers to analyze nonverbal cues in order to gauge whether it's a good time to bring up a touchy subject, or how to tell if an auditorium of students are truly listening or if they're distracted by media, technology, and their peers. If someone isn't in the mood to listen, distractions such as social media networks, cell phones, iPods, and even whispering peers can quickly reduce listening effectiveness, and that's why I think the distraction retraction is such a great device. By blocking out other noises and having the professor's voice right in your ear, it makes focusing a breeze. I guarantee professors will notice a difference in their students' nonverbal behavior once they start using the distraction retraction.
Students, if you find yourself distracted by different media sources and noisy peers and can't focus in class, and teachers, if you find yourself frustrated because you feel your students just aren't quite listening to you, then distraction retraction is the perfect device for you. Parents, this makes for a great graduation present for your son or daughter. But wait, there's more! If you call right now, we'll throw in an extra distraction retraction absolutely free. That's right, you'll get 2 distraction retractions for the price of 1. That's $19.99 for 2 distraction retractions. Call right now at 1-800-DRHA and watch all of your listening problems virtually disappear.